welcome. I'm Haley Nagasaki with Garden Culture Magazine, and this is another episode of Professional Point of View. Today we are speaking with Steve Gallo. So Steve this is the first time we're meeting, but he has 40 plus years in the cannabis industry, turned into mushrooms.
Ooh.
Okay, you know what? You take it away.
Yeah, you could say that, but that's like, it sounds so old when you say
No, but I mean, it's OG. It's
it.
legit.
It's cool. It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, ask me whatever questions you want. It's all good. Let's
Let's
go
start from the
ahead.
top. So how did you tell me about CubeCaps? So you first started in cannabis and then you transitioned to mushrooms later on.
Yeah, I invented this product called CubeCaps, flood caps, and drip caps, and in 2007 actually. And, they reduce water and fertilizer in any grow situation. So Farm Anywhere contacted me to put it in their containers for the hemp containers. So that's how
What
I got
is Farm
introduced.
Anywhere? Let's talk about what Farm Anywhere is.
Yeah, sorry. It's Farm Anywhere takes shipping containers and converts them into really incredible grow spaces, totally controlled, environmentally controlled grow spaces. So it intrigued me
Hmm.
and was very interested in mushrooms at the time. And I saw that these things grow so quickly without a lot of labor. And so I got involved in that. I saw the market was just evolving with the mushrooms, with the lion's mane mushrooms and certain things. So I got involved in that very quickly and love it. Just love it.
And so Farm Anywhere reached out to you about the cube cap. So was Farm Anywhere
Yeah.
for cannabis or was it just like leafy greens or shrooms or anything?
Well, they have like 5 or 6 different containers from the strawberry to the hemp container, leafy greens, microgreens, mushrooms. They have a bunch of different containers. But
Gotcha.
specifically for their hemp container, they wanted my flood caps, and that's how I got introduced to them. And we became great friends. I mean, this is about 7 years ago. So, yeah, it's wonderful, wonderful introduction.
Did you were just working with them with your products or did you join their team as, I think, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I started selling them our flood caps in the beginning, and then I got involved with them as a sales manager for that company because I just loved what they did, and I thought that everybody should get involved in this because hyper local production of food, everything with the supply chain that's going on, and you know food being imported from out of the state, out of the country. I mean, hyper local production of food, the freshest it could be, amazing. So I jumped
And Farm
in.
Anywhere, but they're actually selling the containers. Like people can purchase containers for their
Yeah,
own.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
But then they're
yeah,
also
yeah,
supplying.
yeah. Well, I bought one.
And
I
then
bought one.
and then what did you start with that?
Yeah, we started growing lion's mane mushrooms, blue oyster mushrooms. More research I did with the lion's mane, I discovered that doctors actually prescribe powdered lion's mane for dementia and Alzheimer's. I mean, if you do a search on lion's mane on YouTube, you'll just be amazed at what they can produce. And they're making steaks out of them. We started making steaks.
Yeah, I want
It's
to get to that.
amazing.
That's super cool.
Yeah,
And you mentioned the
yeah,
doctors prescribing for the cognitive.
yeah,
So of course, Paul Stamets with,
yeah.
the Stamets stack, like his microdosing of psilocybin. Do you know about this? So he has, it was sort of his, I guess, formula that I don't know if he can patent it, but he created this formula of psilocybin mushrooms, lion's mane, and
Oh,
niacin B3.
oh wow,
And so
oh
that's
wow.
called the Stamets stack. And so I think other companies have started producing them. I actually make them too. Like I'll produce my own little
Oh
microdose
wow.
capsules for myself.
Oh, good.
But
Did you put the lion's mane in there and everything as well?
with
Oh,
psilocybin
good for
and
you.
the B3. Hmm.
Good for you. Good for you. Wow.
Yeah,
Well, look at
I
you
know.
teaching me. It's like, oh,
You can get into that. Yeah, he's
yeah,
fascinating. I'm sure you've read some of his books, but so the
awesome.
lion's mane, why is that one specifically great for like steak making or like a meat replacement?
Yeah, it grows to be like a big cauliflower, and it's like a sponge. So you cut it up into sections, like 1 inch pieces,
Right.
and you marinate this. It absorbs the marinade. It tastes exactly like whatever marinade that you choose to use. So we make no chicken
Yep.
steaks, no beef steaks, Greek, Thai, and all kinds of things.
So you're
It's
mixing the
it,
spices in yourself?
yes, yes.
Cool.
Well, one of the reasons why we started doing that is because they're very perishable
Hmm.
mushrooms, as you know, of course. So we're like, oh gosh, how do we not have to throw these away after maybe having extra pounds not sold?
Hmm.
So we go, oh, let's turn everything into steaks. So then we opened up the Lion's Mane Steak Company, and now we have great interest, for the vegan restaurants, even non-vegan restaurants. Just love it. They just love it. Everybody that tries it, it's amazing.
That's so cool. I was going to ask about how they were received. Okay, so let's talk
Oh,
about.
sorry.
No, I love it. This is usually how I go. I kind of jump around a little bit. So, Farm Smart, you purchased your container. You bought it just,
Hmm.
was it just for personal use, like for your family and stuff like that? And then you
No,
decided
no,
to
no,
commercially do it?
no, not at all. We had the idea of starting to produce gourmet mushrooms and sell them to the grocery stores and restaurants and the public. So it wasn't for personal use, but of
Perfect.
course we make a lot. Of course we make a lot of mushroom dishes at home. But no, yeah, amazing. Super excited about this business.
What year did you start that?
We've been 2 years now.
Okay.
Coming up January, it'll be 2 years since we have the container. Everything takes time. Marketing takes time. Anybody we introduce, any restaurant, anybody we introduce it to just in, are elated about it. So it's not a hard sell.
Yeah.
Everybody loves it.
Yeah. And how does that work with like food safe, or is there other, how do you have to be able to sell? What do you need to be able to sell to restaurants and stores and stuff like that?
Good question. Actually, you don't. We are Global Gap approved, GGAP, Good
Okay.
Agricultural Practices,
Yeah.
through EcoCert. And we grow them organically, but we're not organically certified. But there's no fertilizer. There's nothing that's dangerous in there, and we are going to be organically certified. But yeah, we got Global Gap certified, even though the restaurants don't demand it. If you sell to the grocery stores, you need to be Gap or Global Gap
Got
certified
it. Okay. So that's
to
what you
do
need.
that. But yeah, yeah, we follow all the SOPs, standard operating procedures, and make sure everything's gloves, hats, the whole bit.
All the
Yeah,
PPE and everything. So what
yeah.
about your medium? What are you growing in? I want to talk about the cultivation.
Yeah, that's interesting. Right now we purchase our medium from an outside source. We will be making our own. We just have to open up the lab and that. But it's a mixture of sawdust and soy hull pellets, and that's really all it is. It's just sawdust and soy hull and
Interesting.
60% water, and you add the grain spawn and it gets inoculated. And within 3 weeks, those bags go inside the container and depends what you're growing. If you're growing blue oysters, 7 to 9 days before they're ready. Lion's mane is like 11 to 14, start to finish, ready to
That's
go.
so cool. And I guess you
It's
you bought your
amazing.
spores initially, and then now you just keep reusing them. Like yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what we do. You just keep reusing. Yep,
yeah.
exactly true.
How
Good for
many
you, Haley.
different how many different mushrooms? I'm honestly like we're doing this because I would love to share this information, but it's also quite selfish. Like I'm also very curious for my own
I
purposes.
love it. I love it.
Yeah.
It's great to have that interest. Lion's mane, chestnut, blue oyster, yellow oyster, pink oyster, and the kings and the king oysters. Now, these things grow so fat. When you go on my Instagram under CubeCap, you can see me holding up this huge king oyster with this stem like this, and it's this wide. Well, you cut those into strips, and you're making bacon. The bacon's
Yes.
amazing. Like it's crispy and
Yes.
everything. Like
Oh my gosh,
it's
that's so good.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
So that works for cultures that don't religiously don't have bacon.
Absolutely. And
So,
lasagna too. Like as a meat replacement, I used some king oysters, and it
oh,
was
look at that.
to
Look
die
at you
for.
knowing. That's great. That's great. Awesome, Haley.
Okay, cool. Are you Quebec? Are you nationwide? Or are you just selling in Quebec?
Well, yeah, we stay hyper local, right?
Yeah.
Because the perishability and stuff. So we're
Yeah.
just in Quebec. The steaks are marinated and frozen. So yeah,
You could
we
ship
could ship
those
down. You
initially? Or
could, you could, but dry ice and all that, it gets to be a bit,
yeah.
you know. So yeah, we're good for Quebec right now.
That's
saying
awesome.
it correct. Yeah.
And what about like the environment of the different species? Like, do they have different requirements?
Yeah, they certainly do. Look at that.
Yeah.
You did your research, didn't you?
I'm just curious
So
by
the
nature. That's why I
pinks,
have this job.
the pinks, the yellows, and the blues, like a warmer environment. There's a range involved in there. But you set up the container. The container, like I say, is amazing. You just set it up and forget it, plug and play. But yeah, some of them like a warmer environment, and other ones like around 17 degrees Celsius. But you have to keep that temperature with a high humidity, like 85, 87% humidity but yeah, there is different ones for sure, but they all can pretty well grow in the same container, but they'll grow differently, right? If you don't dial in their specific needs perfectly, their environmental needs,
So do you have
they'll
like
grow.
cycles that you have, a schedule of that you rotate?
No. We just found a medium. Like, okay, the lion's mane works between like 18 and 22, and these ones like around 20. So we're around 19 degrees, and we just keep it averages at that. And then we actually can move the substrate bags. There's 5 shelves in the container. So
Okay.
you can move the substrate bags higher up for a little more temperature
Neat.
or
Okay.
lower down for cooler temperatures. You know,
What about the
but
demand? What would you say is the most popular?
Lion's mane
Yeah.
is the most popular. Yeah, lion's mane is the most popular. And next after that would be the blue and the gray oysters. Yes, we also grow oysters.
I've never had a
Those are
blue one
popular.
actually. Yeah.
You know, depending on the temperature, the blue color leaves and they turn gray.
Okay.
You know, some of the restaurants we sell to, they take the blue oysters and they tear them into strips, and it's just like batter them, and it's just like chicken strips. And the lion's mane, they mulch it up and make crab cakes.
Oh wow.
You can also see that on my Instagram. Some restaurants in Montreal.
Awesome.
Yeah, you could see the pictures.
Beautiful. And it's not
Yeah,
just vegan, it's good for like everyone likes it. Like it's just like a nice, yeah.
you're right, Haley. If you don't
Yeah.
tell them they're mushrooms, honestly, if you don't put that in their mind
Yeah.
that they're mushrooms, they'll go, "Oh wow, what is this? This is amazing." So
What about the nutritional value of like what is lion's mane? Like what's in there in a
yeah,
serving?
like I'm getting lots of phone calls. Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no
so
problem.
that's okay. I'm not going to answer phone calls for you. Protein, high in protein. You know, I don't really know exactly why it's for Alzheimer's and dementia. I don't know what specifically comes into play. Cognitive. I don't know what that is. I'm sorry, I didn't do that. But high in protein is what they are
Yeah.
basically. Yep.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Yeah, and the therapeutic aspects. I also don't know exactly what it is, but I just know,
I'll
yeah.
do a I'll do a quick chat search for you. We'll come up with it right away.
That's awesome. Have you ever grown, I guess turkey tail is not like I just thought of like another therapeutic mushroom. They're not the same because they have to grow on wood. Like they're not meaty, but they are
Yeah,
more of
you know
like, yeah.
what? Some of them are super difficult to grow. I've
Yeah.
had requests and we're like, oh, that takes 4 months. No, we're not
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it doesn't make any sense. But yeah,
What about
I didn't do turkey
shiitakes?
tail. Yeah, I had requests for that too, and it's just honestly, I just love the
Yeah.
lion's mane, and the blue oysters. That's
It's your
really
bread and
what the
butter.
highest demand. Yeah, and that's
Yeah.
what the highest demand is for. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
So
love that steak.
stick
Yeah, that steak business. So what's it called?
Lion's Mane Steak
Yeah.
Company. So the website's lionsmanesteak.ca.
And you said you were just trialing right now. You don't have your packaging or anything set up yet, but
Yeah,
soon.
I've got 100 steaks made in the freezer, and we're just waiting for our packaging. I've actually got them sold to a company, but we
Sweet.
haven't finalized our package. Yeah, we're excited about it. And it's a meat company that's buying them. It's a
Huh.
meat company that's
I
buying them.
love it.
Yeah, because they see the value in having diversification.
Sure.
They see the
That
value in that.
they're missing
And
out
what I
on
say
that.
to them, Haley, it's funny what I say to the barbecue places and that. I say, well, if you have a guy coming in eating steak and he brings his girlfriend and she's just a vegetarian, what she can eat? They're like, oh, a salad. Well, that's not very accommodating, is it?
No, it's
Like, I
not.
mean, So then I show them the steak and they try it. They go, oh my God. So It
Yeah.
gives them another feature on their menu, which is nice.
Yeah, it's needed. What
Yeah.
about like how do you see there's obviously huge demand, but do you think that there's like do you think that sector is growing in terms of mushroom
Oh, yeah.
production or for personal use as well,
Oh,
or
you mean mushroom production? Yeah. A
like
lot of people
commercial
are getting
or
into it. Yeah. The demand is growing. That's
yeah.
for sure. And a lot of people are getting into it. A lot of people, but in a small way,
Yeah.
in a small way. So
Let's talk about
growing
in a
their own
small
buying.
way. Yeah, how do we do that?
Yeah.
So, like for the home grower, because garden culture is for the commercial and the home growers. So, in terms of someone who can't afford a container, can they do tote bins? Can they do a closet? Like, what can do you know? Have you done any
That's
of these
amazing.
things?
That's amazing. No, we started off pretty well with the container, but
Yeah.
after doing a bunch of research, I see people putting straw in buckets and drilling holes inside the buckets and stuff like that. And of course, they sell these little kits, these little substrate bag kits that are this big that you can buy and you could take home. And if you have a spray bottle, you can just create your own humidity and it grows right on your counter. I mean, for yourself, that's fine, but to have optimal conditions, of course, you need humidity and
Yep.
air conditioning and temperatures and stuff like that. But yeah, anybody can do it. You can go online and you can find these substrate bags for sale. I think they're around $25, $30 or something like that, and you'll get a couple of pounds. Not really the best value for your money, but I mean they do sell for like $18 to $20 a pound in the store.
Yep.
So if you're producing them for 15, I guess you did okay.
Yeah. 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 For sure.
You
So
know.
you're selling how many health food? Are they health food stores or are they just grocery stores? And for the
Well, right now
retailers.
we're talking. Yeah, both actually.
Nice.
We were white labeling to another company that was selling an IGA for a while.
Sweet.
But yeah, that was great. But I mean, like I say, the shelf life isn't great.
Right. Okay.
So having it sit on the shelf, I mean, yeah. But what was the other part you were talking about?
Just like
The
in
retailers,
terms
the
of
IGA, and
retailers,
what else? What
yeah.
was the other
So it
question?
was like health food stores mostly, or is it you said IGA, so it's kind of
Yes,
both? Yeah.
yes. Well, honestly, we're in discussions with TOA, the health food store in Quebec.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
Tao.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if I knew the name of it, eh?
It's okay.
But but they want us to be organically certified, so we've just applied for our organic certification. So we're just waiting for the agent to come out
That's phenomenal.
and give us the okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they love the steaks. They have
Yeah.
they just freaked out.
I guess
Steaks are
did you
amazing.
did you ever do farmers markets or did you just go straight to, a larger scale
You know
than
what?
the little markets?
Farmers markets are great. Farmers
Yeah.
markets are great. One of our friends, it's a pretty big company in Ontario. They do farmers markets all the time.
Sweet.
Success is amazing. They
Yeah.
yeah. So we haven't done that yet because there's a lot. There's a lot
Yeah.
to
Yeah, you're doing tons, it sounds
do.
like. So do you miss working
Yeah.
with cannabis at all, or are you happy to have just made that transition and yeah.
Where the cannabis market is today, I don't really miss that. I loved being involved in it in the beginning. It was great. We were even called down to Ottawa to help them with the rules and regulations of what they were coming up with in 2014. So that
Oh
was
wow.
interesting. Yeah, they served us lunch and everything.
Yeah. So you were in the medical market before rec and helped kind of lay some of the foundation a little
But
bit.
don't miss cannabis.
Yeah.
Don't miss cannabis at all. There's
Yeah.
with mushrooms. There's no cloning. There's no, there's no trimming, no humidity to worry about with the product. It grows with steam. Well,
That's
not
so
really
cool.
steam. I mean, humidity, not steam. Steam's
Yeah.
hot. But it grows with humidity, and you cut it, it's ready to be sold.
Right.
So
And you
that's,
mentioned hemp. I just thought about this. Could you grow mushrooms on like a hemp substrate?
that's interesting. It's interesting. I don't know if
Yeah.
that's been tried yet, but that's
I don't
something to
know.
try, isn't it? That's something really to try.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't really know, Haley, but good question.
Right on.
Another chat GTP, another
Yeah,
chat
I know.
GTP
I know.
surge.
Yeah, no,
You
we're all
know,
going to become obsolete pretty soon.
Terrible, isn't it?
Yeah, scary.
Yeah.
Cool. Is there anything else you want to add or talk about that I didn't maybe bring up?
I know. I think that's great. I mean,
Yeah,
I'll get you some steaks and when you're back in Montreal, and
that'd be
you
awesome.
can try those. But no, I think that's good. Just mushrooms are the way to go. Mushrooms are the way to go.
And I just love, the reuse, the recycle. They're so interconnected with, they're so intelligent, as like as an animal plant thing, whatever they are, sort of in between. Like they're,
You know what's funny about that recycle thing you just said? So
yeah,
when I'm finished with my bags, I'll give them to my friend who's got a nice garden, tomato garden, and all these different things. And he takes the bags and he mulches them up and mixes them in there. And the mushrooms start growing again.
that's
It's
so
like,
cool.
What's that? What's
Yeah,
that? It's like, oh my God.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you know,
That's
even
phenomenal.
in a even in a not controlled environment, they just a wonderful, and no sunlight needed. It's not like you need a 12 and 12 light cycle to grow cannabis. You don't need like any extra lighting to do that. It's just humidity.
So they're growing in
And,
the dark.
they do grow in the dark. My
Yeah,
lights come on in the container 12. They do come on for
yeah.
12 hours and off for 12 hours, but they're just regular office LED lights. There's nothing
That's so
special to use.
cool. It really is
I
just plug and
know.
play. Like you just put them in there, make
It
sure you dial
really
it
is.
in, and then you walk in a week
Yeah.
later and harvest. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing. And like I say, like I can look at what's going on in the container right now
Oh, cool.
with my TrolMaster, right? I'm going
Yeah.
to show you. So we've
Right
got
on.
our humidity, we've got our temperature, the CO2's down there. So yeah,
Very
we use a
cool.
TrolMaster system from the cannabis industry.
Yep. And you can adjust it from there as well, right? If anything needs to be,
Yes.
yeah.
Yep. You can adjust it from here, and it gives you little signals, so it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't even have to go there every day. I mean, I do, but in
Very
the
cool.
beginning stages for the first 4 or 5 days, you don't have to really do much.
Yeah. Okay. So how do people contact you? So you said your Instagram was the CubeCap. Is that your main account?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, that's my main account, CubeCap, and then you can go to farmsmart.ca, lionsmanesteak.ca,
I'm excited for that.
cubecap.ca,
Perfect.
farmanywhere.ag.
Yeah.
So many other companies.
It's so needed. Like just the way that our food system is going. It's such like it just seems foolproof.
Haley, that's one of the things that I tell my wife is we will never starve. If the food shuts off, we could always be having our mushroom soup,
You can
our
live off
mushroom
that.
steaks, 100% in
Yeah.
the dark. So it's amazing.
Cool.
Excited
Thank you
about
so
it. I love
much.
it.
Thank you so much for joining and for sharing that information with us. And good luck with everything.
Thank
And
you,
please
Haley.
keep me in the loop.
Thank you, Haley. Much appreciated. Come by and get your steaks.
I will. Thank you so much.
Thanks. You have a great day.
You too.